Hi guys, this is part one of the inside of my Disney quote art journal that is taking over a children's book and making it my own. It's Brandon McGee, by the way. I forgot to say that. Here is what we did in the very first tutorial is the outside, and now we're going to move on to the inside and see how we do. I wanted to take the inside cover and make it look really nice because it doesn't right now. And I'm going to replace this green with a very Mickey-esque red polka dot. So I took my gesso and black paint, painted around the edges so it looks nice and clean. I measured the edges and cut my paper so that it fits. I obviously did not measure very well, but it looks good, and I did both inside edges like that, and I may revisit that, maybe put some pockets or something in there. Depends. You'll see it in the future, I think. Okay, so our first actual page, I took some old um, paper that I had used the jelly plate to create and started with my first page. I cut it down to size. I chose this one with all the different shapes and colors. And then I wrote the quote on an index card, tore some pieces of old book paper, and placed them on there exactly how I wanted. Mod Podged it all down, started decorating with my Sharpie. I took the same stencil that I used on the jelly plate with the paint in the background to highlight that shape in the foreground. Sorry, and use the Sharpie to detail the quote card just a little bit. Detailed it some more, added some details around the page, painted some edges, and called it a day. This page, if you look at it really hard, it's scrap paper as well. You can tell that it's like my brayer cleaner paper when I was using the brayer. It actually turned out kind of cute, so I started adding things to it. I painted some index cards black, and I had another piece of scrap paper that had similar colors on it. So they all go together to create a beautiful page. And so this is going to be a 2-page layout. I laid them to see exactly how I wanted to place them, exactly how much of them I needed to cut off, and put them in place with Mod Podge. There's also kind of a key when you're doing a 2-page layout and you have this solid piece of paper in the middle. I use my scissors to kind of push that down into the crease so that it doesn't crack or bust later. These are some of the really fancy tools that I use to make some details on the page. The medicine cup and the pencil eraser make a lot of little polka dots and circles around the page. I decorated it up quite a lot, and even more with the green paint that was in the background. I found a very similar colored green gel pen to write the quote in, and the quote says, "The problem is not the problem. The problem is your attitude about the problem." And it turned out pretty well. These are not colors that I normally use, but I really like how it came out. So this next one, I used a birthday card to make a petal template, and then used a piece of scrap paper to make petals, and my Sharpie, handy Sharpie. So I move on, I'm decorating the petals, making them all look similar, cutting them out. And of course, I had scrap left over, which we'll see later in a different tutorial. I found some green background material that I thought looked really good with this flower petal. I decided to place them in the book. I'm going to do a 2-page layout for it as well. Mod Podge them in. I use my handy duct tape to make my flower nice and round in the center, and place my petals where I thought they needed to go. This is what it looks like before I pasted it all down, and the flower center opens so that I can add the quotes. This is the detailing that I did around the edge with some green paint, and here is the quote: "The flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all." This is the outside and what it looks like when you open it up before you open to read the quote. Thank you guys for tuning in and looking inside my art journal. I'm going to continue this series. Please like and subscribe so that I can see what's going on with you, and absolutely add a comment. Thank you.